Hey everyone, new topic today. So in the 1980s when I was a kid, they used to have this TV show called Star Blazers. But Star Blazers was basically a Western adaptation of a Japanese anime called Space Battleship Yamato. And it was originally aired in 1974. So we're talking a long time ago. I didn't see this stuff until the 1980s. It was written and produced by Yoshinobu Nishizaki, and then it was directed by Leiji Matsumoto. So those are people involved with this. And the first season was 26 episodes, but then there's 3 seasons and then movies, and it's been going on ever since the 1970s. And I just rewatched it all on YouTube. If you need to know English, look up Star Blazers, and the whole first and second seasons are on there for free to watch. And yeah, I mean, granted it's a cartoon, but actually almost everything they say in there makes sense, so it's pretty cool. Alright, so that spurred me to get this box, and this is the Cosmo fleet collection of a lot of the ships from this cartoon. So if you just to give you a gist of things, they find the old Yamato battleship. This is the largest battleship in history in World War II, and it was sunken. And so they found it, and then they restored it and turned it into a spaceship. And then the alien race, this is their leader called Dessler, and it's a interspace battle because Earth is dying, and they gotta fly across the universe to get a solution. Anyway, so it's quite an interesting thing. This box is huge, so it's going to be hard to see everything, but we have the actual ships here in this case, and it's nice that it actually tells you the names of the ships. So there's 10 boxes in here, and I think somewhere on here I saw a date. Yeah. Here, Megahouse made this thing. I don't know this brand, Megahouse, but in 2008, I think they even had a collection before this, because this says Best Selection. Sorry for the focus. It says Best Selection, so they had some collections beforehand, and this is the best of those previous collections. This is the only thing I could buy where I actually have all of them in there. So they're all blind box, I think. I don't know if they're opened or not. I don't think they're not to scale or anything either. Yeah, they've been opened, so, but that's fine. As long as I get one of each model, that's what I'm after. So let's take a look at this box here. So that's a picture of all the different things. I don't think they're to scale though, so we'll find out after we get all of them. Yeah, if you just find this box alone, printed with soy ink. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Japanese I can't make out. Oh, there's an idea of what else there is. And then I'm looking for the date on this box. Oh, it does say 07. Okay. And there's a website. I don't know if that actually goes anywhere now, but... Alright. I don't see a price. I'm assuming these things are like $5 or less. So it's like a collectible figurine thing, you know? If anyone knows the original price, please leave a comment. Alright, so I'm now noticing there's some instructions on the inside of the box to keep the price down. I see tear marks here, I think. So I'm just going to tear this box. So maybe I should tear over this side as well. So it says number 6 there. Maybe this is number 6 in the lineup. And so you got to put on the turrets and put the stand together. These are instructions for all 10 of them, actually. So you only need to actually open one box and you'll have all the instructions. So that's good. I guess I'll keep that handy. So this is Dessler's. This guy's flagship. Dessler's flagship. You know what? Let me get all these things out of the boxes first. Yeah. So there's no other paper. This is called the Yukikaze. This is in the opening scene. This is one of the enemy ships. aircraft carrier, submarine looking thing. So I think, you know, for the 1970s, the styling of a lot of these ships is really cool because they're close enough to like things you recognize as ships, but they're flying around in space. And then they have their own style. This is the mother load right there, the Yamato. I've built model kits of the real Yamato, like Tamiya model kits and stuff. And it's a cool battleship because it has 3 main turrets and then 2 secondary turrets, if I recall correctly. Alright, so it turns out that each one is actually numbered as well. So I have them in order, but I'm actually, the very number 1 is the Yamato. That's the best ship of all, so I'm going to save that for last. In fact, I think I'll just do it in reverse order. So let me arrange these in a reverse order way. So we're going to start with number 10. Okay, so number 10 is called the 3-storied carrier, and this is for the enemy fleet, the enemy ships. So some of these parts, as you can see, are really small, so you have to be really careful when you're cutting this thing. You don't want to cut through a part. And so the bags are sealed so they can't scratch each other, so that's nice. So the stand here, this big ball peg goes into the stand base here, and it looks like it actually has printed info. So it's got some feather cannons, 6 of them, and many anti-lasers, and it points to where they are. And then there's a little space fighter, and in the name of love, why would it say that? That's kind of weird. And some sort of like controls or something, you know, molded in, like it's a console or something. Yeah, I guess that's cool. I appreciate the printing that they did. So this thing, this tiny little ship here. So it's on this little arm, and even this tiny little thing has a blue stripe printed on it. Or, no, that's a cockpit, that blue window. And you can see the panel gaps, so that's really cool. Yeah, that's really impressive. And then I guess this must peg into this little hole in the stand. But maybe this side? I guess I should probably pull this out first. Yeah, okay. So, alright, I'll just have that there. Oh, this whole thing actually slid out. That's interesting. And then these are the turrets that go onto the main ship. So it looks like you're going to have some clippers. Some hobby knife or some sort of side cutters, side nippers, side cutters. Ah, boy, this is all very fine and delicate. And so the main ship. Let's take a look at this. Alright, well, it's a little bit warped. I don't think it's PVC though. I think this is, yeah, the sound of it is rigid plastic, so I wouldn't want to go bending that too much. Oh, there we go. It just snapped down a little bit. I think there's actually a spacer wall there, but it's been in that box for over a decade, so. But looking at how small this is, it's nice, the little details. They have a little black paint wash getting into the panel gaps, and it looks like there's like intakes here and a bunch of strakes and some pink recessed engines, so that's cool. The paint's pretty far in there. And then these really delicate wings, which again, if you drop this model, those things are going to break off. So you want to be really careful. And it looks like there's a dark paint wash area. It almost looks like it's camouflaged. But the decks here, they got the landing strip white and all that. And this is the bridge, I guess, just floating off to the side. So again, it looks kind of like an aircraft carrier, but it's a 4-deck aircraft carrier and it flies through space. So that's why I like these things. It's recognizable but different. So now I gotta clip these things off, and it looks like there's a bunch of holes here. It's odd though, because there is one on there already. But, I guess maybe those two are molded in. Alright, let me get some side cutters. Let's see if these god hands will cut right up to them. Yeah, they will. What I'm concerned about is these turrets might fall out. So you might want to put some poster putty into the holes with them, if they're loose. If not, actually glue them. Alright, so, oh boy, that's a tough one. Start with the bottom ones. Oh, it's actually a pretty tight fit. You gotta actually twist it on. There's no way that's gonna fall out. Yeah, so it's kind of neat that you can pose the turrets. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fall out. You can pose that one upwards a little bit. Oh, now I'm noticing there's a little pink there. I don't know if those are like torpedo launchers there. This one's a challenge though. Might want to get some tweezers. Yeah, I'm gonna need to tweeze that one. So it looks like the original plastic was white. That one's really tight. There we go. Now I think it's just scraping some paint off. Alright, let me come back with this one finished. Alright, yeah, I used some tweezers to get that last turret on there. So let's see how it pops on this stand here. It's a little tight, but yeah, it works. So the stand itself, yeah, you can get all sorts of angles, and the ship itself on the stand you can get all sorts of angles, so it's very flexible. I like it. You can actually move it also so it's out of the way of the graphic. Alright, so I think what I'll do now is I'm going to cut open all these bags, and we'll at least get those out of the bags. Hold on a second. Alright, I've got them out of the bags, but I haven't cut them or assembled them, which I will, cut away to do. But I'll just show you there is a different stand here. So this is number 9, the battle carrier, and it has this swoopy looking arm. So if you want, let me focus on this. You can pause and see what this thing has for weapons, and then episode 22. Interesting. Oh, I see. So these are probably the chapters of the story that they were shown in. Yeah. In the Name of Love was probably an episode name. That first one. Oh, the drill missile. Okay, so I'll cut these and add these later. You'll have to watch me do that. But it will tell you that this is all a bunch of turrets and stuff like that. And this is just a landing strip. And you have a choice to put a landing strip in, or in the cartoon they flip over and become turrets, so more like a battleship. But if the landing strip, then you have the drill missile plane take off from this thing. So it's like a dual purpose ship aircraft carrier, battleship aircraft carrier. Alright, so here it is in battleship mode, right? The turrets are on there. Now I will make note, this thing, you see here, it's colliding with the front end. It also has very long pins. I'm afraid if I push it in all the way, I'll never get it out. So I want to display it with the drill missile plane. So I'm going to pull this out. I wanted to just give you an attempt of what it looks like. But look how long these pins are, and they're so thin. So if this thing goes in and it never comes out, I'm okay with that. There seems to be a stagger to the pins. So I think, yeah, the thinner part has to go up front. So be mindful of that. Let's get that pin in, come on. Okay, so that's in there. I think this boat, this hull is PVC, but this is a hard plastic. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to like index this drill plane, so you'll have to. I'm gonna have to add some putty to it, and it has no landing gear, but I believe it's supposed to take off like that. Let me come back and I'll put it on the stand. Alright, just some poster putty there. And so the poster putty doesn't strip paint. I can always remove it and stuff like that. It's got some nice panel line details of black paint wash on it. And it actually has a copyright thing here as well. So that's interesting. I like how it's like a double hull. So it's a really funky looking ship again. And I think these must be the engines, but they're all bent. Being PVC, you can put this in hot water and straighten them out. And then the stand is tall enough. I don't know if they do that on purpose, probably for the ball. But in this case, I can just keep the spare part taped there, so I'll never lose it. Okay, so that's that one. The missile ship. Very cool. So, this is going to be too long of a video. I'm going to start cutting all these things ahead of time. And then maybe I'll just fast forward the video. Yeah, some of you guys might actually want to watch me run into problems putting these things together. So I'll just fast forward this part and then I'll come back when they're all finished to talk about them. Alright, well, it makes sense since I have to show the bottom. I'm going to have to talk after I assemble all of them, so maybe I'll just fast forward the assembly of it. I do feel like the body of this thing is PVC. You can see it flex, but this front end is very rigid, so it's weird. It's very confusing. Really sensitive. I'm really worried about these breaking off, especially this really thin one. These are rigid plastic, all these fins. But the turrets are nice and low profile, so it's kind of cool they can pose them and stuff. So really cool thing again. Alright, maybe this one we'll need to actually fast forward because it's only these 3 parts. Alright, so this is the Space Destroyer Yukikaze, and this is from the very first episode, yeah. So where do these fins go? I see in the side, but there's a tall one and a short one. I think the tall ones go up top. So it's going to be like this. I probably want to push it from the base and not the fins. Looks like, no, I thought for a moment there might be an index, but I don't think there is. This is really sketchy. I'm really afraid of breaking this thing off. Let me try the other side. No, I can't do the other side because the tall fin's on top. Okay. If I just wiggle it, eventually it'll get in there. Yeah, alright, so just take your time, wiggle it in there, and try to avoid pressing on the actual tips and the fins. Okay, that one went pretty easy. So yeah, totally different style of ship. It's got like a shovel nose front end, and then blue windows painted pretty nicely. The recessed windows. I think this is a gun turret, but I don't know if it would spin. No, it'd be cool. Well, maybe the paint stuck. It looks like it's a separate piece. Same with the bottom one, but no. Some sort of fuel tanks, or maybe missiles, or bombs, maybe. And I don't know where the engine would be on this thing. Well, anyways, looks like these might be torpedo launchers or something. So yeah, it's funky again. I think it would have been cool if they wrote on the base plate like the dimensions of it, even, you know, they're not the scales, so it might be nice to show how many, tell people how many meters long it would be or something like that. This next one is Dessler's new style ship. So I think this must be from season 2. This one I am going to fast forward probably. Alright. So this one might be the most fragile of the bunch. These little antennae wing things are so fragile. I also feel it'd probably be smart to super glue them in. I think they'll just fall out very easily. But I'm gonna just put these in a glass cabinet and never pull them out again. So it's got some nice weathering on it. These little black panel line weathering. It looks like it's an airbrush effect. The front end looks like a different blue, and there's some red and a honeycomb pattern there. So that's interesting. This is a gun, I guess. And then you got these torpedo tubes. The bridge has a sky blue. There's some red back there. Where's my dental pick? And then the rear engine here is a different blue. Looks like a propeller effect in there. So I mean, this thing is tiny, and yet there's so much paint going on that this is why I like to buy this stuff. I mean, I could paint this, but it would take me hours to make it look like that. I'm much happier just buying it finished. I don't really like painting stuff. The Gamless Destroyer. If you want to pause again, what it has, and it was from episode number 1, and many episodes after. There's only 2 parts to put on here, so I might as well just do so without fast forwarding. Oh, it says ABS plastic, so that means it's a brittle plastic. It would crack. And it's a smart idea they put the actual ship in this like hard plastic. I don't think, oh, there's 3 dots on the back side, but I don't think it matters which direction. Oh, this does have 3. It's just this one that didn't mold the 3rd dot. So you could actually get a little bit of an angle if you want to point them up or down. So I think this might be the strongest model of the lot because there's not much protruding. You know, only these 2 bits here, and that's pretty hard to break off. So these little turrets again here, no, sadly I don't think they spin. But look at the yellow paint effect here. It's pretty neat how there's some streaks and then it goes to orange and then to brownish or red. And then there's a little yellow here. Again, it looks like there's a darker paint app maybe on some of these areas, and then the black paint wash goes into all the crevices. So very cool. This feels like it's PVC. It's softer plastic, but it's still pretty rigid. Now see, this turret looks like it's already turned. So I don't know if they're, I guess they may have glued these in place, which is too bad. Oh well. I guess this is an engine, you know, some thrust is coming out the back there. This is the front end. One could confuse these for engines, but no, this is the front end. A lot of these ships have these things called wave motion guns, cannons that come, just mega cannons on the front of the ships. But this is the bridge, you know, or maybe 3 bridges, so it gives a sense of scale, how big this ship is. And this is just a destroyer. So this is very overscaled. I think this ship, I get the impression this ship is pretty small in the cartoon in relation to all the other ones. Only these 2 are really small destroyers. The other ones are much bigger. So again, there's no scale here in these models. They're not the same scale. So main battleship, so this would probably be a huge one. What's weird is it doesn't tell you what episode it appeared in first. It just says In the Name of Love. Unless this is actually from a different animation. There's many animations of Space Battleship Yamato. So maybe that's a whole different cartoon entirely, not the original one from 1974. Pretty deep pegs. That was really tight. I think this, yeah. These are different sizes. Yep. Okay, good to know. Alright, so this is a main battleship. Triple shock cannons, giant cannon, tachyon gun, yeah. So I think these 2 things are giant guns. They're wave motion guns. Again, more airbrushing effect. This cream colored paint looks pretty nice. A little red thrown in there. The engines, red, yellow, red. Weird tanks on the bottom. The antenna thing is molded in. The bridge. So it looks kind of like a battleship, yeah. Very cool, very cool. I really like these designs. And then for some reason, I guess it makes sense. This peg hole is way back here. But they're not heavy models, so it seems to be okay no matter which way it's placed. So Dessler's first ship, I believe. Dessler's ship, yeah, episode 26. Alright, Dessler ship here. Yeah, these things are so loose, you gotta glue them in place. I'm just using crazy glue. I just figured I'd do it all of them. I might go back and do it for the other ones too. I think I will actually after this video. So again, a big cannon in the front. This is the front. This is the bridge, really small bridge there. Although for human scale, this is a huge room, by the way. So this is a big ship. I'm not sure what these orange things are, but there's a big engine back here. And really cool details, like green and white. Yeah, really cool engines. Alright, so that one's neat. Where's the peg hole? It's right in the middle of this thing. This now might be the most delicate of the bunch. If you want to see what it has, a tachyon gun. I think that's the whole front. Oh yeah, it tells you where the gun is, so that's cool. What would be smarter if it told you where the bridge was? Alright, so that one there. 2 more to go. So this is the most modern battleship, I guess, in this lot, the Andromeda. So look at this thing, it's just totally loaded up with stuff. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Last one. Where the heck does this go? Oh, this belongs back on this thing. Alright, so back to this thing. So this is a cool battleship. I mean, it's got 2 giant cannons in the front with red in there. And you can see the texturing in there as well. And then a whole bunch of cannons on the side and like maybe missile ports. And then these turrets up here are nice. And then multiple colors for the rear engines. Very cool. And the bridge. All those red lights or whatever, maybe those are thrusters back there, but no, that's the bridge. Yeah, so nice tiny details. Again, this thing is really small. Just to give an idea, I mean, this looks like it could be the biggest of all of them. So it is only 3.5 inches or so, or around 8.5 or 9 centimeters. Sorry if I lost focus. Yeah, I can't hit the screen and hold 2 things at the same time. Alright, so on the bottom, yeah, that could be a bridge down there as well. Alright, so very cool. Alright, the last one is the Yamato. Break it. Alright, so we have a red hull obviously on the bottom. Oh, the flight wings. I don't know if there's a top or bottom. They do look like they're canted a little bit. canted upwards. I think that might be the way it's supposed to go. Okay, so let's see. So here we have the wave motion gun cannon there. We have some anchors, some torpedo tube hatches. I think this might be like a viewing observation deck. This is a third bridge. It's underneath. There's an episode somewhere along the way where it flips over, I think. Alright, some antennae down here, some secondary engines, yellow, and the main engine itself. These are rigid, these fins here. Only this one is really soft. The little chimney stack and missiles can launch out of that. The two bridges up front. Radar and all antennae, and then a whole mess load of anti-aircraft guns. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Again, you gotta look how small it is, and yet they have all these panel lines and little details. I'll be honest with you though, I think detail-wise, I think the Andromeda is better. Something about the crispness of the panel lines of this. And maybe it's just a color choice, you know, you can see it easier because it's a lighter gray. This is a really dark gray compared to the other ships. Alright, but it also does come with that jet fighter, which is clearly out of scale. So there we have it. I apparently got these two stands mixed up. This is called the battle carrier, this red one. This is the missile ship here, which would explain why it doesn't look like a carrier. I had it mistaken before. Anyways, in summary, these are really cool. Oddly, the Yamato might be the least detailed of them all, or maybe this aircraft carrier, but all these, they're so jam-packed full of details. I like them more than the main ship of the whole series. I know there's other waves of these, of course. It's just a matter of being able to find them, because these things are all out of print, and then find them for a relatively decent price, which these weren't even a decent price. But anyways, I do love the show. I grew up watching this show. I just watched it recently on YouTube, so that's a reminder. If you haven't seen it, you know, it's free. Just check it out on YouTube. Look up Star Blazers if you're into English, or the original one, Space Battleship Yamato. And there are some more modern ones that are CGI and all that stuff too. And there was even a live action movie. It wasn't that great though, compared to the animation. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Long video. I'll see you in the next Star Blazers Space Yamato video. Bye.